Really proud of the way that our team has bounced back and came through with a win today. I thought a couple things were just huge for us. The first thing is we were just really efficient offensively. You saw the way that we had great teamwork. You saw the way that we moved the ball, and we knew it was going to be a high-scoring game, right? You look at UAB. They're a good team and they're well coached, and they play quicker, on the floor. And we were able to get our transition game going as well. We had multiple players in double figures, and any time we can have that kind of balanced scoring attack, I think our team can be pretty dangerous. Tamira here ended with 30, and it was, I don't know if you would call it a quiet 30, but it was, it was definitely a spectacular performance by her. And what I love about the scoring that she had was it was all over the floor. She shot the ball well from three. She was able to score around the rim, and she did a lot more, getting her teammates going whenever players guarded her harder. You look at Delaney having a double-double today with 17 and 10, and the way that we get those defensive stops is with everybody on the floor rebounding, and her 10 rebounds were huge. You look at Katia Gallegos and the way that she was able to get the ball in the paint for us, and the way that she hit a couple big threes and had some scores at the rim, and she distributed the ball with the assists that she had. That was pretty big for our team. Defensively, we knew we had to guard the three-point line, and I felt like we did a good job of that. They did shoot some threes, but we felt like those were well contested. And then we were able to finish with rebounds. Rebounding has been a growth area for us that we've really focused on, and I felt out rebounding them today was a big part of the success that we found.
Talk about Tamira. Also, you said already that she was able to, score along the three and also in the paint. Also, the threat that she brings by posting up. She posted up a few girls, just the way that she's able to bring that threat also.
Well, she's such a versatile player. Her ability to play all over the floor is what makes her, so unique, and her ability to post up around the rim against some smaller players. And one thing that you see that's really underrated is the way that she drew fouls. She was, I think, perfect from the free throw line, but those fouls that she was able to draw on key players on their team and put them in a little bit of foul trouble, that does more than just add, just add points on the stat sheet. It changes the game, and she's got a high basketball IQ, and she's able to read the game and understand those moments with what we're trying to do. You saw her to put the ball on the floor and take it off the dribble. You saw her catch and shoot threes. You saw her pass the ball and make extra passes to teammates when they were open. And that's one thing that she does really well is she's a selfless player who then turns around and ends up with 30 tonight.
And you guys were down in that second quarter, and obviously the second half was fantastic, but I really want to talk about Jessica and the way that she came in and had those back-to-back threes that really got that surge going, and the way she was able to come off the bench today.
Yeah, those threes were huge for us. Making that comeback from being down in the second quarter and being able to take that lead at halftime was because we had players that came in off the bench and performed really well for us when we got in foul trouble. And Jess is one of those players. Jess is so competitive, and she's a winner. And if you go in the locker room and you ask Jess any question on the scouting report, she's going to know the answer. She prepares for games really well. She's a high IQ player and understands the spacing on the floor and understands when to take those shots, and we wanted her to take those, and she came through for us, and that was a big part of that run.
Tamira, you were able to get a lot of their better players in foul trouble by the way that you were able to get to the free throw line. Talk about that and your ability to do that.
Teams are gonna guard me kind of close and make sure I don't catch the ball. So I feel like with that pressure, it just gives me a more of an opportunity to drive, and since they're so sucked up on me.
Talk about how important it is for other players besides Team Delaney to help out offensively for you.
Yeah, having a balanced team is something that we always strive for, right? And being able to have that in the scoring column tonight was huge, to be able to find those buckets, all over the floor. Like T said, teams are going to play her really close. Tamira and Delaney are a huge part of the strategy of the opponent's team when they play us. And having players like Katia Gallegos, like Jessica Evans, like Maddie Cartwright, having those players that come in and are able to contribute offensively helps our team with our flow and helps us in the scoring column.
And tonight, you made the big comeback a little bit earlier than we've seen on a few occasions here. That you did in the second quarter instead of the fourth. Guess was it? But then in the fourth quarter, you're in the different role, trying to sustain the lead and build on it. Talk about that.
Oh yeah, in the second quarter when we were down a little bit there, I feel like our team did a really good job with responding, because I feel like in those moments it's pretty tough to come back, but we kind of just believed in each other and just kept playing, and it kind of went well from after that, honestly.
Glad you didn't have to need a last second dramatic comeback this time. It's a little easier the last minute, wasn't it?
You know, basketball's such a fun game, and it's a game of runs. And we know that we're going to make runs. We know that they're going to make runs, but we know that the game is really won in all the details along the way. And one thing that I love about this team is I've talked about nobody ever doubts, right? Nobody hung their head. Nobody ever doubted for 1 minute that the game wasn't going to level out and we weren't going to be able to make a comeback and compete. You know, the pendulum swung the other way from the second quarter, and that all goes to the heart and the toughness that this team has, and you have to have that down the stretch. You know, down the stretch of the season, you look all across the scoreboard, you look everywhere, and there's some teams that have to choose in this moment, you know, am I going to give in or am I going to keep fighting? And we have a team of fighters that is always going to fight on the floor, and I think that's the difference in the game, is that mindset that we have.
T, this is your fourth 30-plus points game of the year. What was different about this UAB defense compared to some of the other defenses you faced in conference play?
I felt like they kind of their help side was good. Like, it was there this game, so I just had to find, you know, open teammates and just take my opportunities. You know, if they're sucking up this play, the next play, I'll probably be open. Just, you know, picking out my opportunities.
Anything else, guys?
I won't see you before Sunday, so I just want to know about, obviously you want to celebrate this win, but obviously South Florida was that game where you guys were on the road and they got the win. Just a quick, you know, how you want to get this, have this win and carry it over to Sunday.
Yeah, well, we know South Florida is a good team, you know, and they're well coached and they have a lot of experience. And so, you know, one thing that's important for us is that we still learn and grow even in the winning that we had today, right? The most fun growth is whenever you can win, but we're going to evaluate this game. We're going to self-reflect and be able to see those areas that we need to improve in. And then we're going to go and we're going to reevaluate kind of our last game against them. And it was on the road at their place. And so we know it's going to be a competitive game. We're looking forward to that preparation that we're going to have to be able to step on the floor and compete. And you look at our conference, there's such great parity, right? We know that whenever we step on the floor to compete on Sunday, it's going to be at a high level, and the preparation has got to be there, and it will be. We have a team who does a great job of that.